Hello dear friends, this is Drops of Light, day 18. We're studying, reflecting, doing exercises on the book Gotas de Luz, Drops of Light, by the spirit author Casimiro Cunha, and through the hands of the medium Xavier. We're taking a journey into understanding better about our feelings and how to calibrate ourselves to the scriptures. Spiritist poetry is this single opportunity of feeling the knowledge of Spiritism. People don't yet grasp the power of Spiritist poetry, and not only the power, but the role. Spiritist poetry, as Leon Denis says in the book Spiritism in the Arts, is a form of music, and is a form of music that comes from higher states, that is here to make us acquire more knowledge, but also to help us strengthen ourselves and strengthen our moral capacity. These are the words of Leon Denis, and we then grasp a little bit of the reasons why Xavier's first published book was Parnaso de Além Túmulo, a book that is yet to be in English, but it's a collection of Spiritist poetry from several different spirit authors who were former poets on the earth, famous ones. And why Xavier's mission begins with Spiritist poetry and then ends with the letters of consolation to mothers who lost their children, because it's all about the heart. If we know all these things and we do not feel it, it doesn't serve as a purpose. If we have been reading all those books and it doesn't change the way we feel about ourselves and the way we feel about others, it's not working. So we need to ask a question that my father asked me once. You know, I graduated quite young, and I shared this with you because these are stories that I have learned too. I learned as I was going through it. My father was always adorable, and he was very devoted and diligent, very intelligent. One day I graduated, and I was still in Brazil. Before I got my PhD, actually, in neuroscience, I got my degree in psychology. So one day my father calls me and says, I want to go back to study. And I said, Dad, what's the point? I mean, it's great, but why do you need it? I want to do this work, etc. But I would like you to help me because you know how to study. How do you study? Can you tell me how you study? And I was like, let me think. I was 22 at the time, so I was thinking like, how do I study? And I shared with him, but I said, Dad, the method that I use works for me, but you need to find yours. And believe it or not, my mom and my dad, when we were like 25, 26, they actually graduated from their own, and they got their own degrees in other things. So I'm really proud of them to see how much they make an effort to value studying and knowledge. But I recall this question from my father. How do you study? Teach me. It depends. How do you study the Spiritist teachings? Because many people read these books. Oh, this is good for my husband. This is good for my daughter. This is good for my neighbor. Oh, how can I get this book so my neighbor can read it? Oh, they're not Spiritists, I don't know. Should I put it underneath their door? It's like anonymous donation. Oh man, this could be great for my boss. that type of reading does not sink in, does not make us feel the scripture. No, 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 no. So how do you study Spiritist books? Oh, Vanessa, just read. No, that's not studying. Studying requires reading and reflection. If I'm just like, boom, 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 going through the book page by page, okay, I read it. And then what next? It doesn't work. I need to read, reflect. But then you may be asking, how do I reflect, right? Make it personal to you. To you, to me. I have to make it personal to me. This paragraph, this is a therapeutic proposal for me, an educational proposal of the highest form from above to me. How can I apply it? Yeah, you're right. This one would be good for me in that situation. I'm never going to forget this statement so I can have fuel to change that conditioning of the past. That's precisely how we make it personal and we start feeling the scriptures. But the method, the particularities, it's customized per person. So if you find your method, share with us, because maybe it's going to inspire all of us to find a new way. Okay? Before we begin, let me say hi to all of you, because it's a joy to be here. Look who is here. Ana Augusta. I cannot believe it. She's here with us. Thank you very much. Big hug to Luis Hu. By the way, starting January, the Spiritist side of Virginia is offering 3 courses on Spiritism. Spiritism 101, Reincarnation, and the Gospel, based on using Luis Hu's books. Yuppie! Alright, that's what we're gonna do. Teresa Catapano, how are you? Rihanna, big hug to you. Leonor Pacheco, beautiful Leonor, how are you? And here we have Rafael. How are you, Rafael? Paula Andrade, how are you? Lé Severo, how are you? Erica, my dear cousin and friend with Danny Braviera, have been helping us also in the campaign. And they just got 2 other points of collection of books for the campaign for the Spiritist Center Luz e Caridade, Light and Charity, in the city of Itobi, state of São Paulo, Brazil. If you have a Spiritist book in Portuguese, one, send it to us at Kardec Radio, or look at the many points of collection, send it to, 1 book per person. It's gonna turn into a beautiful library, not only for the center, but the whole region of Spiritist centers, the other cities surrounding it. They don't have good libraries, so it can be a good reference for everyone. And without books, it's hard to study Spiritism, right? Especially in the crisis that we're going on in Brazil. Joyce, beautiful Joyce, and Daniel, and Marco, my friend Adilson, big hug, big hug, big hug. Sylvia in beautiful California, how are you, Sylvia? Hipólito from Pirajuí, what an honor, my friend. Welcome. Clara Simões, how are you? Anariel, when I talk about a father or mother, here's a loving daughter who appreciates and honors her parents. What a beautiful family, my friend, and what beautiful works you guys are doing, right? Rafael Medeiros is saying charity is fundamental when we study Spiritism. Cynthia, you're here again. Welcome. Amanda Andrade, how are you? Rudy's here, awake, present, and ready. Me too. And who else? I don't know.
Hello, friends. What an honor to be here with you.
Yay, 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 yay. You ready? Me too, right, Carol?
Yeah.
Today we're going to study chapter 18. It's titled Migalhas. crumbs of light. Sometimes we don't value the little actions. We often think of the big things, big actions, big words, big. And we forget that people can make huge steps into feeling well, into well-being, wellness, with a smile, with a hug, with an email that is kind, with a kind look, very approving one. So do you value, first therapeutic question of the night, do you value the crumbs of love in your daily life? The crumbs of light in the daily life. Yeah, yesterday we were in DC. We're studying mindfulness. And Mentor Joseph broke the news that mindfulness is only possible when we make the present pleasant. And we can only do so by changing our perception. So we need to reevaluate the stimulus around us, emotional, physical, spiritual, to find the coolness of the present. Once we do, you think we're not going to be willing to be mindful? Of course we will, because it's so good to be here and now, right? So that's a homework for us to find the cool in the present moment. Let's read it in Portuguese first, because the original was written in Portuguese, and it's a form of music, and music in any language has a particular vibration. So just to string the chords of your heart, playing the guitar. Ta-da-da-da-dum. Migalhas. Quem vive nas discussões, atendendo uma por uma, muita vez passa na terra, sem acender luz alguma. Navio grande prossiga ao alto mar, ao mar alto, em desconforto. Mas navio pequenino navegue perto do porto, onde toda a gente manda sem que ninguém obedeça. As obras podem ser grandes, mas sem pés e sem cabeça. Não há desatendas no mundo a grande sabedoria. O homem faz almanaques, mas só Deus governa o dia. Yeah, God is God. Esperas pela bondade que flui da divina aurora. Começa por ser bondoso, hoje mesmo, aqui e agora. Aprende a ouvir a verdade, serena, elevada e pura. Muito raro é o bom conselho, sem ressaibos de amargura. Doentes e prisioneiros que o sofrimento congela encontram dificilmente pessoas da parentela. Entre amar e bem-querer, há muitas léguas que andar. Sanguessuga também sente o bem-querer de sugar. Quando o céu é todo azul, muita gente dá lições, mas chegando a tempestade, dá gritos e acusações. Não zombes do irmão que sofre, amargurado e ferido. Entre as sombras do amanhã, teu dia é desconhecido. Ready for the English? Crumbs. Crumbs. I'm just joking, it's crumbs. Children, when they're learning to read. Okay, crumbs. Crumbs, okay. Whoever lives in arguments, attending one by one, goes through earth without lightening up any light. A large ship proceeds to the high seas in discomfort, but small ones sail near the harbor. Where everybody rules without anyone obeying, works can be great, but without feet and head. Do not neglect the world. To the great wisdom, humankind makes almanacs, but only God governs the day. Waiting for the goodness that flows from the divine aurora, begin to be by being kind today, here and now. Learn to hear the truth, serene, high, and pure. Very rare is the good advice without restraints of bitterness. Sick prisoners that suffering freezes, they hardly meet people of the kinship. Between love and wellness, between love and well-being, there are many leagues to walk. The leech also feels the pleasure of sucking. When the sky is all blue, many people give lessons, but when the storm comes, they shout and accuse. Do not mock the suffering, brother, bitter and hurt. In the shadows of tomorrow, your day is unknown. Crumbs of light. Jaw dropped, back again. Right, Carol?
Right.
Breathe in and out, because these are a lot of drops of light. We're overwhelmed because this is perfect fit for our daily routine nowadays. He talks about something quite interesting. There is a central theme here we observe. He's talking about our relationship with others, but the fact that we need to have order, discipline, and inner discipline especially. So he begins by talking about our discipline when we talk. Arguing never goes anywhere. Are you good at arguing? Be a lawyer. But if you want to be good at love, don't even go there. You know, it's like a never-ending road. The road of discussions, arguments, as Casimiro Cunha says, we will waste our time and build nothing. Observe Jesus Christ. Have you heard of him arguing with anyone, Carol?
No.
Never. Right, Deborah? Beautiful Deborah. We love you, Deborah. Thank you for your beautiful works. We're looking forward to having you here in December, okay? So, have you seen the Master Jesus? We've never heard he wasted his time arguing. Have you seen Chico? Have you heard of Chico Xavier arguing? Have you heard of the Dalai Lama arguing? Have you heard of Mother Teresa, if she used to argue? No. Why are you going to do it? It doesn't work. But forgive yourself. I know. Sometimes we have that idea that arguing is going to get us places, but it never does. Casimiro's saying, don't go there. You're going to waste your time, not going to accomplish anything. Right, Simone Gregorio? How are you? Big hug. And he says, when we can afford going to the big ocean, it's going to be uncomfortable. But if we cannot afford it, we better stay at the harbor. Meaning, we need to measure our capacity for certain adventures and ventures. Adventures and ventures in life. We need to feel how much we are capable of dealing with the storms of life. I know many people who take big steps into things that probably are not supposed to happen now. And then they hurt themselves, hurt people. We're not saying we shouldn't work hard, but we're saying we need to measure what we can do with the resources we have at hand, and gradually. Everything in nature is gradual, but we need to be cautious. Casimiro Cunha is teaching us in this very stanza here, be cautious, in the sense of think before you embrace a task in life. For example, parenting. Please do not become a parent if you are not going to be able to be patient and tolerant, etc. Because children are not lab rats. Forgive me for saying this, but majority of people on earth still have children as if, oh, you know, it's not me. I'm gonna try. If I'm gonna learn as I go. No, but there's always preparation. Even if people say, oh, but no matter how hard you read and study and prepare yourself, life is always different. You're never gonna regret preparing yourself. You're gonna regret when you have never prepared yourself. Right, Marco Carvalho? Think before we take action. Now, this is Humberto de Campos, not me. I'm learning with him too, making it personal to me. You know, what can I do to be more cautious? In what level of your life it would be good for you to be cautious? I had to change because it was iffy here. What area of your life do you think you should be more cautious? You should be more attentive. You have an idea? Make a plan. Make a plan. I need to be cautious when I get too excited because I start speaking nonsense, you know? And as Mentor Joseph told me yesterday, if you speak with charity, you're never gonna go wrong. So practice every day. Okay, if you're afraid of speaking nonsense, speak with charity. Okay, he told me that, and I said, thank you, Mr. Joseph. I'm learning, right, Carol?
Right.
Now, are you ready for this third one? Because this is a spicy one. Where everybody rules without anyone obeying. Works may be great, but without feet and head, meaning it's a little messy. Without head and feet, what stays? Head and feet. No matter how much we love the thorax and the abdomen, etc., they can't be there without a head. They can't go places without the feet. So meaning, he's saying, if we don't have order in a group, in a gathering, in our families, in our spirit centers, in our communities, at work, we're not going to progress. Everybody rules. You know what it means? Democracy doesn't work. You know what I mean? Not politically saying. There is order. Action and Reaction by Andre Luis. Chapter 2. The mentors say to Andre Luis, order is the basis of charity. They wanted to enter some chambers to help, and they told Andre Luis and the mentor, no, 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 you can't, you have to stay here. Order is the basis of charity. I know many spiritist centers who are very democratic. There is no head, there are a million heads. It doesn't work. The body has one head, 2 arms, 2 feet, many fingers, many toes, 10 each, right? I'm not saying many like a monster many. We're just saying many. And many veins, many arteries, trillions of neurons, but one head. Command. You know, serious spiritist centers will never function if we don't have one directorship. That's not dictatorship, it's order. We accept the opinions, but when we have the order from above, when it's for the benefit of all, we need to be obedient. The problem is that on the earth, people don't learn how to be obedient anymore. But if you go to the gospel according to Spiritism, obedience is a Christian virtue. It's the consent of reasoning. So to be obedient, we need to think. People who are not good at thinking before taking action, they are not obedient, they are not disciplined, they don't go far. And as a group, we need order. Everybody cannot rule. Casimiro Cunha. Okay? Our beautiful Deborah is saying, I'm not a leader, not I want to be, but I try to be an excellent follower of Jesus. Naturally, when you follow Christ, you lead by example. Order and progress are beautifully said, right, Rafael? Thank you too. Deborah, beautiful, beautiful. That's the spirit. Jesus is our leader, and we follow, and then we become assistants of the leadership. But we need to be obedient. Scale 0 to 10. How good are you at being obedient to God? But Vanessa, what is to be obedient to God? You need to know what God wants from you. But I don't know. Well, read the Spirit's book. Chapter, you know, the 3rd part of the Spirit's book is about the laws of God. Read it and ask yourself, am I doing these things? Am I complying? If not, let's comply. As easy as that. Right, Marco? Marco, I wish I were the philosopher. I think the beyond really is surprising to us. So do not neglect the world, he says, to greater wisdom. So meaning, we need to surrender ourselves. He's saying, only God governs the day. God. Order begins with our surrender to God, saying, God, you love us. You give us life. You give us many chances. I love you. Love you. Love you. I want to fulfill your laws. I want to help everybody you've created. I'm not going to curse anymore if you do, right? I'm not going to be intolerant as much. I'm going to decrease a little more because I need tolerance too from other people. I'm going to understand why people make unhealthy choices because I still do too. Yada, yada, yada. Right? Felipe Gleiswolber, how are you, friends? So, obedience. That's the theme of today. How obedient are we to God? And then to moms, dads, educators, and boss. Yeah, we need to consent. Our reasoning, the boss says, let's do this project. If it's not something to do any harm to anyone, then we say, yes, sir, we will. How can I help? And respect the authority as if I would like to be respected. But in the Spiritist movement, the only authority is Jesus and the teachings. It's not in any one of us. Okay? The president of a spirit center is the guy who facilitates the order, the loving individual that does it, and we obey it out of fraternity and kindness and solidarity because it's like a coach. So if we want our team to win, we better have a coach. The coach is the president of the center. And the directors are the assistant coaches. We don't have like many spirit centers, one president that is just fictitious and several directors and each one thinking whatever they like, and we have different goals in us. And now we have one unity. The spirit centers, as Andrea Luis says, is receiving the direct connection. The directors are team working with that plan, and then they coach the team, which is the volunteers of the center, to move forward. That's how it should work. Kardec gave to the president of a center a lot of responsibility. We cannot play this game that many people are playing, the spirit centers around the world. Oh, the spirit center doesn't have more responsibility than the other directors. Yes, they do. You will never hear a higher organization that is organized, if I may say this in a way, without one head in a team. Like No Solar, one governor, 12 ministry, 72 ministers, but one governor. Not 72 governors, one governor. Okay? We have here our Eduardo Guimarães. How are you? It's a joy to have you here with us. Okay? Now, if you're waiting for goodness that flows from Divine Aurora, start by being kind today, here and now. Do we want to feel this Jupiter moment? Yes, Carol?
Yes.
What do we need to do?
Be kind.
Be kind. Now. Not.
Visualize the good.
Okay, let me ask Carol to repeat, please. Carol, repeat.
We need to see the good, feel the good, mold our lives with all the good that is available to us.
Thank you, beautiful Carol. Thank you, my friend, for helping us. So we really need to do it now. Don't postpone. Be kind now. And you know how? You have a cat. Bring that cat to your heart. Say, I love you, cat. Your dog, your daughter, your son, your spouse, whomever. Bring them close to your heart, please, and say, I love you, unconditionally. Forgive for my mistakes, but love. Forget the self-judgment. Let's practice now. Be kind to ourselves. Now. Breathe in and out. Activating the parasympathetic system in us. And tell yourself, I am kind. I am kind. I am kind. The world is kind. The world is kind. The world is kind. If people don't believe it, we need to think. Why not? So here we have obedience. Leia Severo kindly telling us, chapter 9, from the Gospel According to Spiritism, Mighty 8. Very deep, as you're saying. Thank you, Leia. Obedience. Yeah, message from the spirits. Obedience is the consent of reasoning. We need to practice obedience. God, I want to comply more with your laws. I've been an outlaw for a long time. I'm tired of this outlaw life when I'm ruling and I am bumping my head all the time and I'm stumbling. My feet are hurting, I'm bleeding, I'm crying. And I know with you in your arms, life is much better. That's the feeling of obedience. Finally, our beautiful Casimiro Cunha brings to us in the last 3 stanzas. Prepared, huh? Learn to hear the truth, serene, high and pure. But it comes with a little bit of bitterness. He says a good advice rarely will come without some bitterness. You know why? Because the truth is never going to tell us, oh, you're good, keep it up. Say, you can always do better. I remember Jorge Godinho Neri, the president of the Brazilian Spiritist Federation, telling me, Vanessa, whenever you accomplish something good, remember, the next one's going to be harder. And in Spiritism, that's what we learn. So be prepared. It's like a bodybuilder. The bodybuilders, they're happy. Oh, I just lifted 20 pounds. The coach's going to say, 25 now, 30 tomorrow, 35 the next day, 40 the other day. Next week, 50. And you're like, but can I keep myself here 25? Well, you want to bodybuild? We have to go. You want to grow spiritually?
Soul building.
Right?
Yes.
Kara is saying soul building.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kara. Soul building requires that we challenge ourselves. Oh, have you mastered this? Drink some water, because now we're going to present to you a new challenge. Don't cry. Don't cry. You know why? Because God loves you. And He says, now you're ready for another level. You've just been upgraded. You've just graduated. Next, new things, harder things. But you're gonna be a beautiful, loving, kind, generous, compassionate soul. Law of progress. As Marco is saying, right, Marco? Beautiful Angelita is here. Thank God, before we are wrapping up today, she's in Madagascar. And we're moved because she's doing beautiful works with Wagner Moura and other friends. Help the Fraternity Without Borders. There's always, you know, the other day, I was eating something. I said, man, I spent $20. I could spend this money and sponsor a person, a child, in all these countries in Africa. FraternityWithoutBorders.org. Thank you, Angelita. Finally, as we wrap up, between love and well-being, there are many leagues to walk. The leech also feels the well-wish of sucking, meaning don't find the pleasure of being stagnated. Move forward. You're tired? Sing. Carol, shall we wrap up?
Of course.
Sing. Sing a song. Sing out loud. Sing out strong. Sing of good things, not bad. Sing of happy, not sad. Sing, sing a song. Make it beautiful to last your whole life long. Don't worry, that's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing. Sing a song and work hard because God loves you. Right, Carol?
Right. You are loved.